since Final Cut Pro 10 has come out, I've been doing a few videos. I did one on the compound clips. I've done one on the Picasso effect that I made, and so most of you guys, I've had pretty good feedback about it. And so what I figured I would try to do is to make it like a video. It's probably going to be a long video. I'd say anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. I mean, I really don't know how fast I'm going to do this, but it's going to be a pretty long video of just me editing. I figured a lot of you guys would like to see that. I'll use a few basic techniques throughout my workflow, and hopefully that'll give you guys an idea of how well the program works and stuff like that. So instead of me, since I'm not sure exactly how much you guys are going to like this, I'm not sure if most of you guys are going to want to sit down at your computer for a half an hour and just watch. So this is just going to be sort of a test run, and what I decided to do was I was hungry, and so I figured for a good test clip I would make a video of myself making peanut butter and jelly. So as you can see, I'm going to scrub through the video here, and it's me making a PB&J. It's nothing that crazy. So I'm going to launch Final Cut Pro 10, and if you guys like this, if I get good feedback on it, then I will continue to do this, but with my actual videos. And I will probably end up posting this video to YouTube just for kicks, but so we'll just see where it goes. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to click on my scratch disk, which I have set up just for Final Cut. So as you can see, it's just a scratch disk. I gave it 150 gigabytes. And so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to create a new event. I'm going to call it PB&J video. Oops, for some reason it switched my application. PB&J video. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is do a Command N, and that will create a new project. But before you do that, you want to come down here and make sure the disk that you want this on is selected. In my case, scratch. And now we want to hit Command N. And I'm going to call this the same thing, PB&J video. I'll name it project, just so I know that it's different. This is the project, not the event. So, my audio options are stereo, not surround. My video options, I'm just going to have it set automatically. That's fine. And I'm going to hit OK. So as you can see, my timeline was created down here. And so now I want to import these clips. So I'm going to do a Command-Shift-I, and that'll bring up this menu. So I'll go ahead and import my intro. And now I'm also going to import my PB&J video. So there's a little wave sound effect here. I'm going to go ahead and select both that wave and the clip, and I'm going to hit import. Could not be much simpler. So now I'm going to go ahead and import my intro to the timeline. And this works with the way you think. And there's my intro. So now what I want to do is import the PB&J. Now we're gonna, whenever I record a video, there's always a few seconds at the beginning that I give it to just not talk and to make sure that the camera's recording and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and just see how far it is until I start talking. So you're gonna want to keep your eye on this right here.
Every once in a while.
Alright, so that's probably about 6 seconds. So with this selected, I'm going to come down here and type 600, and that gets me to 6 seconds. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to hit I, and that'll set an in point right to there. So when I import this, right after my intro, I should just start talking.
Every once in a while.
Beautiful. So now I'm going to go ahead and select this clip here, and I will add a transition. So as you can see, transitions is selected. I'm going to go down, just kind of go through them. Let's try radial.
Every once in a while.
Pause due to rendering.
Every once in a while, even if
I like that, so we'll keep going.
a geek gets hungry. So this is going to be a video of me making PB&J. So as you can see, we got our bread.
Alright, so I'm going to add a little effect here. So I'm going to go back to where I say bread.
See, we got our bread.
So from here, I'm going to create a cut.
Mac and cheese. I should say this.
And we're going to just let this go for a second.
Always awesome.
Always awesome. So I'm going to add another cut there. Now I'm going to select this clip. I'm going to zoom into this for you guys. And so I'm going to add an effect here. So what I'm going to do is come over here to video effects. And I'm going to type in dream. And that gets me to the dream effect. So as you can see, it kind of makes it blurred out, it really offsets the white balance like a typical dream effect. So I'm going to drop it onto this clip. So now when I come to that clip, it'll have the dream effect.
Bread.
Like that. But see, I don't want it to just cut like that. I want to have it fade in. So what I'm going to do is select this, go to the inspector, and as you can see, I have the dream effect up here. So now I'm going to scrub to the beginning of that clip by hitting the up button, and that, as you can see, moves my timeline. So at the beginning of the clip, I'm going to set a keyframe. I'm going to have it be 0. Now I'm going to give it a few frames, about there or so, and I'll add another keyframe. and this time I'll max it out. And the computer does the math for everything else in between that, so it'll add the gradual effect.
Bread, always awesome.
Like that. And so then once it's done, it's just gonna jump out.
Always awesome. The heart and any mac and cheese. I should say.
I don't know why I said mac and cheese there. I feel kind of dumb now. But anyway, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this fade out as well. So I'm going to go to the end of this clip. I'm going to add a keyframe of 0. But I'm also going to scrub back a little bit because I don't want what that'll do. How it is right now is it's going to as soon as it gets to like the 100%, it's going to start decreasing, and I don't want that. So I'm going to turn snapping off by hitting N. I'm going to get very close to the end here. I'll zoom in a little for you guys. So right about there, I want to set a keyframe there at 100. So now it won't start fading until it gets to here. All this will remain the same. So I'm going to zoom back out.
So as you see, we got our bread. Always awesome. The heart and any mac.
Very cool. So now I'm going to keep going.
Any mac and cheese. I should say the skin.
Now one thing to keep in mind is that this is just saved everything. I don't have to worry about it if this app decides to crash. And I will have a heads up here that it might. This app definitely is not perfect. And I don't have the best graphics card. And so running 2 monitors and everything, sometimes my VRAM does get pretty full. And that gives Final Cut 10 problems. So if this application does crash once or twice throughout this entire thing, I wouldn't be surprised. But it usually doesn't give me that many problems. But with the screen capture, who knows? So we'll just have to see.
Got our trusty dusty.
Oh, another thing I forgot to add is with this effect, I want to add that sound, that wave clip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it and just have it come down to here.
Red. Awesome.
Alright, so now I'm going to cut this. I'm going to turn snapping on. And I want this to snap right to the end of this clip, which is right there. And then we'll have it kind of fade out.
We got our bread. Always awesome. The heart and any mac and cheese.
Beautiful.
I should say the skin. Got our trusty dusty handy schmandy knife. Very nice.
I'll add that effect to the knife as well.
Handy schmandy knife.
So I'll just do what I did last time.
Very nice.
So once again, I'm going to add the dream effect. I'm going to go in and keyframe this bad boy. So we'll add a dream effect of 0 there. Turn snapping off, come over here a little bit, add another keyframe of 100. Come very close to the end, add another keyframe of 100, and go to the very end and add a keyframe of 0. And we're also going to copy this sound effect. And we're going to paste it here and slide it on down, and now we should have a nice effect.
Handy schmandy knife. Nice. We have our butter of peanuts.
Butter of peanuts, awesome.
Without a label on it, it just kind of got demolished.
Alright, so now we're going to add the same effect once again here.
And of course, peanut butter.
Okay, this might actually have to be longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to double click it. And that'll allow me to get more space here. And we'll see how that goes.
Got demolished and it's without a label. And got demolished and it's without a label.
I'm not sure why I did that jump cut. I'm going to completely redo that.
Without a label. Butter of peanuts. Without a label on it.
So I'm going to go from about here actually. So I'll turn snapping back on.
Peanut butter.
Alright, so now right there. So now I'm going to turn scrubbing off. I'm going to select this clip, add the dream effect. And this is all kind of repetitive, but I only have 1 or 2 more of these to do. So another keyframe of nothing. Snapping is already off, okay. So come in a little bit, keyframe of 100%. Close to the end, another keyframe of 100%. And at the very end, a keyframe of nothing. So once again, I'm going to copy this sound, paste it, and line it up. And we're good. I'm going to even drag this out a little bit, turn snapping back on, and this should snap to the end of that clip. And once again, I'll have that fade out.
We have our butter of peanuts. without a label on it. It just kind of got demolished. And of course, the homemade strawberry jelly. Very nice.
Alright, so
Jelly. The homemade strawberry jelly.
Right there, I'm going to give that a nice cut. Oops.
So
I would assume right about there. So now, one more last time, I promise you guys. Dream, I'm going to come here to the beginning. Keyframe of nothing. Scrub over a little. Keyframe, 100%. Keyframe of 100%. Keyframe of 0. Paste that audio. Turn snapping on. Drag it to the end of that clip and add a fade out.
Strawberry jelly. Very nice. So, as most people would assume, the first step is get the bread. So, I'm going to unwind this bread now. The bread is on. Of course, we're going to close the bread packaging. Put that over now. And I guess the first step is we'll do the jelly first. I've always said the jelly's the bigger pain in the butt. So we'll get it out of the way. So what you want to do now? Just mash this up on it.
I want to add sort of like an effect to me stirring this.
So what you want to do now? Just mash this up on it. Makes it much more enjoyable. So now,
scrub through until I pick it up. So right about there. So now let's go. I think there's a effect called maybe bling. Nah, I forget what it's called. So we're just gonna have to scrub through a little bit. Let's see what bloom would look like. Nah, it doesn't really do too much. Can't really think of the effect I want. I know what it does, but I have no idea what it's called. I can't really think of it, but we'll just try various effects now. I can't for the life of me remember what that effect was called. H-film. Yeah, see, I thought it was bloom, but that's obviously not it. Out of the sensor bar. Let's see, crosshatch. Day into night. Nah, it's kind of like a very early morning effect. Fisheye. Glow. Yeah, we'll try intro flashes. I kind of like that one.
so what you want to do now? Just mash this up on it.
That looks
Makes
awesome.
it much more enjoyable. So now we're just going to pile some of it on. And the yummy deliciousness.
Not quite the effect I was looking for, but it's close. This is just a PB&J video.
Kind of a lot. I'll probably end up putting some of this back in there. So just kind of spread this around a little.
Alright, so now since there's, as you can see here, there's a lot of nothing, of me not talking at all. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to speed this up. So I'm going to use the blade tool and cut here and here. And what I'm going to do with this clip selected is come over here and make it fast. And we'll try 4 times faster, just to see.
A little. My spreading skills are kind of lacking. As you can see, I kind of spilled some.
I wonder if I cannot add some nice audio in there. Let's look for a nice effect. No, let's try explosions. I like it, but it doesn't fit. Let's try ambience. Construction. Try crickets. That's possible. I might go with crickets. Try mall. Possible. I might go with those crickets. I'm going to search through a few more and we'll see. Let's try work home. None of these are really meant for making PB&J, are they? I don't know why I'd want a sound clip of me opening a drawer. Alright, we're gonna try some weapons. Alright, I'm gonna go with the crickets. None of these are doing it for me. Actually, I think that was an ambience. Or ambiance. Alright, crickets 1 and 2. I like 2. So we're gonna add some crickets here. And we're gonna cut it right there. And we'll have it fade out.
Round a little. My spreading skills are kind of lacking. As you can see, I kind of spilled some.
Alright, and I continue to spread after saying that. So I will once again cut it here. And I'm done there, so I'll take it there and I'll do the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead, except I'm going to make this only 2 times faster. And I'll add the same effect.
Alright, I guess that's good enough. Now, where did I put my paper towel?
Now I remember when I did this, I for the life of me could not find my paper towel, like my napkin, to wipe my hands off. So this is a whole lot of nothing. I left the room, so I'm going to just cut all this out.
Alright, I guess that's good enough.
Alright, so I'm going to cut it right there. As you can see, I don't even come back until here. So we're just going to cut all that out and we'll see where we're at.
Alright, I guess that's good enough. Okay, napkin acquired.
Shaky cam. Oh well. So I'm just going to go ahead, cut that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a cross dissolve. So we're going to come up here, it's the very first effect.
Napkin acquired. Alright, I guess that's good enough. Napkin acquired. Or paper towel, I guess.
So as you can see, I cut out like a good, I would assume about a minute or so of just nothing. So, magic of editing.
You could just lick it off, but I don't recommend licking knives. Just for your safety and the people around you. Don't lick knives, kids.
It's a nice life
Alright,
lesson.
so jelly's done. You got peanut butter now. Jif. Probably the best brand of peanut butter in my opinion. So, you're gonna...
Alright, we're going to add another effect on that GIF logo. It just has to be done.
Alright, so jelly's done. You got peanut butter now. Jif.
Alright, I want to make that into like a freeze frame. Now, I have not done this yet with Final Cut 10, so I'm hoping it's easy. There should just be, like a freeze frame option somewhere. But if not, then I can always do something else too. Maybe I can just... You know what? We're just going to go to Google, and we're going to see if someone else on Google has the answer. So as you can see here, David Franco is streaming, and very nice. We're going to type in freeze frame. Techniques forum, chapter markers. You know what, we'll actually type it out. Final Cut Pro 10 freeze frame. Alright, this looks to be what we want. So I guess I'll have to scrub through this. I'm going to plug, or not really plug, but I guess thank you to whoever posted this video. I could plug it if he wants later.
Hello, welcome to the Generated in, I believe, part 6, don't quote me on that. Basically, we go up here to the share menu, and there is actually very quickly an option that says save current frame.
Alright, so they changed the name, so it's share save current frame. We're going to export it as a JPEG to the desktop. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. Alright, so here's that freeze frame. Okay, so it's a different name, but it does the same thing. Okay, so here we go. That's just our freeze frame there. And so we're going to add it right on top. And now you should not even be able to tell. But what we're going to do here is we're going to cut this. Actually, I'm not going to add that on just yet. Actually, I don't know how I would go about doing this in Final Cut 10.
Probably the best brand.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty much as good as I'm going to do.
Sure.
Okay, so you see the F is on the other side, so I'm going to undo that. I'm just going to go back more and more, actually. Before I even added that. There we go.
I got peanut butter now. Jif.
Alright, that's the frame before it starts to move. That's as close as I'm going to get. So now I will add this.
Jif.
Alright, so now I will go ahead and I will add my little singing again. I won't make this that long though.
Jif.
I'll make it about that long. So I'm going to cut the audio, do something like that, and I'll add a cross dissolve. Actually, since it is just right after that, I don't think I'll even need to.
Jif. Probably the best brand of peanut butter in my opinion. So we're gonna.
Alright, so that looks beautiful, so we'll keep going.
Get a good amount. That's actually not a good amount at all. So we gotta go seconds.
So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit. Nothing too interesting
A
happening.
little better. I'm failing at this PB&J. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So we're gonna spread this on now.
Alright, so now once again I'm going to speed this up.
So we're gonna spread this on now.
From there, what do I say here? Oops.
Try to move the peanut butter out of frame a little. Alright, so the peanut butter is.
Alright, so now right up to there, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I never made a cut. Cut. Houston, I think we might have a problem. This might have crashed. Yes, so as you can see, it did quit. But now the best part is that when I reopen it, everything should be exactly the way I left it. So Apple obviously does need to come out with some fixes, but you know, at least all my work is still here. So as you see, all my effects have been applied, you know, everything, my dream scene things. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. I don't know why it zoomed out that far, but as you can see, all my effects are still here, and not once have I had to save. So there's my time,
makes it much more enjoyable. So now we're just gonna pile some of it on. Look at that yummy deliciousness.
Alright, so here's my time. Alright, so now should be right back here. That's where I showed the GIF label. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And so this, I think, is what we were just speeding up. Actually, no, I think it was this.
Spread this on now.
Yes, it was this clip. So it never did make that cut. So I think it ends right about here though. So we'll cut that, and we'll add our little speed effect, make it 4 times as fast. Alright, so I'm gonna take all the audio out of this so we can hear our crickets. Apple loop crickets. Adjust our fade out.
Alright, so the peanut butter is fairly evenly spread. As mentioned before, I'm not a professional. Kind of an amateur at spreading, but I'm over it. Alright, so once again, we're going to repeat the step of spread, finish, and wipe.
I'm going to add those steps on screen just to make it a little more clear for everybody.
Repeat the step of spread, repeat the step of spread.
Alright, so as you guys can see, I added a little marker here, and that's how I know where the title will begin. So I'm going to go and hit the T for title, or for text, I guess. And I'll go ahead and I will add, let's see how this would work.
Spread, finish.
I like that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to transform, and I'm going to move it directly up. And so now I'm going to call it my first step, which was spread. So highlight all, spread.
Step of spread.
So now right about there, I'm going to add another one.
Finish.
Alright, so this one is called finish. Oops. Not quite sure what's going on. Okay. Twitter, you're in my way. Alright, so this one is finish. And once again, I'm going to transform and move it up. So right there where the X said it was 0 up here, that's how you know that it's still nice and flush with the rest, or that yellow line, that always helps. So spread, finish, and the last one was wipe.
And wipe.
So right there I'm going to add another one. Wipe. So we'll see how that looks.
Spread, finish, and wipe.
Okay, except obviously wipe needs to be moved down. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to extend these out so they end at the same time. And for some reason all those were turned off, so nothing was snapping. But now let's see how that looks.
Step of spread, finish, and wipe.
Wipe was a little late, so I'm going to move it about 10 frames, about 1/3 of a second.
Finish and wipe.
They don't have to be quite that long, so I'm going to take all 3 of these and cut them, drag a marquee, get rid of them.
Now spread, finish, and wipe. That'd be a pretty good tasting napkin if paper tasted decent. Alright, so lid is now going on. PB&J, very securely. I even got that really nice and it came up right. Anyway, so now comes the moment of truth. This is the most risky part of any PB&J.
Alright, so now right here I want to have some music building, some intense music, because this is probably the climax, the peak of the entire thing. So I want some nice intense music. Let's try impacts and crashes. See, I'm not sure if these are actually going to be some effects. Maybe I'm going to try opening up GarageBand. And we'll see how this works. And the nice part about Final Cut is while GarageBand is opening, it's up there rendering. So I'm going to come down here, So I mean, everything I just did is rendered already. Beautiful. Alright, so we're going to create a new project. We're going to do a loops, and we're going to call it suspense. Alright, so I'm sure there has to be something in here that, has, suspenseful music. So I'm going to full screen this, and we're going to see what we can find. Let's try synth. Dance floor, nah. No. These aren't what I'm looking for. So we'll try another category. We'll try intense. Here we go. Has to be more options. Suspense. See, these are just little effects, but I suppose I could add a bunch of these together. Alright, I'm going to try to add a bunch of these combined. Turn the metronome off. Add another one. Add yet another one. No, two's enough. Alright, then while this one is down, we're gonna have this sort of, while these are going on, we're gonna have this one building. So we're gonna drop down, and we'll add a little keyframe there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another one of these down here somewhere. And so right here, we're gonna have it get, slightly louder as time goes on. So now this don't quite sound right. Alright, so now let's change this to go up to seconds. So as you can see, this is about a 13-second clip. Actually about closer to 17 seconds. And we're going to see how much we really need. Oops.
And I'm about to do it live. We're going to take them. Bam.
Alright, so from here, let's see, what are we at here? We're at 343. And we're going to go ahead and turn skimming on. So really we won't even need close to that much. So we need about 6 seconds, maybe 7 or so. And so from here to here is really all we need. I kind of overestimated what we needed here. So what we're going to do, but we're going to keep some of this stuff. Not all of it is garbage. So now we're going to take it and move all this down. And we'll see just how this sounds. Probably take that out and just have something like this. That's perfect. Alright, so now we're going to come up here, we're going to select everything. Share, export song to disk. AAC, I'm going to use MP3. And we're going to export to backup, videos, my content, raw video content, PB&J. So now that's done, we're going to open up, and as you can see, it's right here. It's called Suspense. And so we're going to import that simply by taking it and dragging it in. As you can see, we now have suspense. So we're going to drag that down and we'll see how it sounds. We are going to make the audio a little quieter.
Jay, and I'm about to do it live. Bam.
Alright, so I can probably just cut this part out and bring it to here and just have it, you know, sort of fade in.
And I'm about to do it live. Jay, and I'm about to do it live. We're gonna take them.
And I want to have it cut as soon as I shut the sandwich. Right there. And I don't want the fade out, I want it to be an abrupt stop.
Do it live. We're gonna take them. Bam. I might be an amateur at spreading, but I'm a professional at making. So now the finishing touch, we have our glass here. Down in the fridge we have our milk.
Almost done.
Give us a nice...
So now I want this to be slow motion, baby. Right from right here until I finish pouring, which is right there. So this all needs to be super slow. Let's try 25%.
Give us a nice...
Alright, so I want to take that audio out. And obviously now I'm going to need some nice soothing music. So we're going to come back to GarageBand. We're going to delete all that stuff. And let's try something nice, maybe relaxed. That's not relaxing. Melodic maybe? No, not at all. I'm not quite sure. Let's try orchestral. Soaring, that is perfect. Soaring it is. Let's see how long that is now. 12 seconds. Oh, this is just perfect. Share, export song to disk. Soaring, same directory. Converting, already set to go. As you can see, it is now here, soaring. Drag it into our project. You go bye-bye. And here it is. Soaring. Absolutely perfect. And create that fade out. And we'll see how it goes. This has to fade in too. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to do Option and click twice. I'm going to put one at the beginning, one where I want it, and at this I'm going to put it all the way down. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another one and drag it down like that. But now you don't hear the cup going down. Okay, that's kind of crazy. Alright, we're going to try. I want to really fine tune this audio. I like that. I also want to add, you know, some sort of effect over this as well. See, I think that's what it was. It was Dazzle. I think that's the one I was looking for earlier. See, now that kind of ruins the effect of the milk pouring, though. Let's see what drop. No, not at all. Funhouse. That's a cool effect right there. I'll have to use that sometime. Highlights. Let's just see what this would look like. Can't even really tell. Hue saturation. Nah. Mirror. Maybe memory. Nah. Even if I tweak it to not go as bright, it still I don't think will look right. Projector. I don't know, I think I might just go with something a little more basic. Can't really think of the one I'm looking for though. Maybe I'll add the dream effect and just make it not so much. Let's see how that looks. I think that'll work. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a keyframe right where we want it to be at its peak, which is in this case 14.5. We're going to go to the beginning and add a keyframe of nothing, and it should fade in. Sounds good, looks good, is good.
Cup cam. So we have our milk, which can be shown there, and our sandwich.
Alright, so now the effect was called dazzle. I'm going to see if that works. I want to give the thumbs up. See if this works. Alright, but see, I don't want it to last that entire time. So I'm going to have a keyframe here for 0. Here for 30. Wait, when do I officially put the thumb up? I'd say right about there. We're at a keyframe there. Of just all out bling. And then I'm going to add another one here. 0. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to do click that, do a Control V, and fade out. And I'm also going to make this last clip slow motion by half. So that means I can also make my fade out time a little longer, which looks nicer. Awesome. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Pictures, CPU Kit Images, and we're going to go ahead and import some of these. Background 2, import that. Check out my other content. Now I also want to import a video. So videos, my content, YouTube. Let's see where my compound clip tutorial, I'm going to import that. And I'll do one more. We'll do Hackintosh dual boot. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add background 2 to here. Default length is 10 seconds, so that'll work great. Now I also want to check out my other content, so I'll import that as well. I want to turn snapping on though. Makes my life much easier. So with the mouse here, I'm going to do transform, and I'm going to make it so it doesn't take up the entire thing, and also have it be at the bottom of the screen. So now what I want to do is come up here to Hackintosh dual boot, and I want to set my in and out points of what I want you guys to see. So I'll do some of this scrolling code here, and this is going to run for 10 seconds. So from there, do plus 10 seconds, out points. That's 10 seconds of footage. Or within a frame accuracy. So as you can see, it's going to have that code and then boot into OS X, but I don't want to take the full screen obviously, so I'm just going to take it, transform it, make it look something like that, and I'm going to do the same thing with Compound Clips tutorial, which I will be using to do this actually. So in point there, I'm going to do plus 10 seconds out point, and I'm going to drag this on top of these. It's another frame off, but not bad. The problem with this is one is 1080 and one's 720, so they will be different sizes, but it's nothing too noticeable if you size it just right. And I think that looks pretty good. So now what we also want to do is add a sound effect. So back up. The audio file I always use is in videos, my content, right meow, and right meow. So I'm going to go ahead and import this, and I'm just going to go ahead and drop it in. With snapping, it wants to go there, something like that. So now what I want to do is select all these and do Option G. That's now a compound clip. I can now do a Control V, and I can control my fade in and fade out without having to do each one separately like I used to have to do in Final Cut 7. So this is a huge time saver. Alright, and we'll see how that looks. Ah, that's one thing I did wrong. So I'll go back into my compound clip, and I have to take out all the audio for these, otherwise that sounds pretty dumb with just like 3 layers of audio. Alright, so now that's done. Now we'll see how this sounds. I'm not sure why it has all that extra on there. That's kind of odd. Alright, I want to go back into this compound clip and find out why that is there. Not getting that. Do I have one of these on like each layer? I'm really not sure why. Let's try that. I'm not sure what happened there. Alright, that works fine. Now once again I'm going to do my Control V and adjust my fade out to about there, and we're going to see how this looks. That looks beautiful. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, since this is already all saved and everything, I'm going to do a Shift Z and I can see the whole project, see how it looks. Very cool. As you can see, there's those effects. So everything does look very nice. So since I have compressor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to Share, Export using compressor settings. And the reason I use compressor is because it's just so much better at handling file sizes. If I were just to export this right from Final Cut, this would probably be a good 1.5 GB. If I export this with compressor using my custom settings, it's probably going to be around 300 MB. So as you can see, that's about 5 times, or like a fifth of the size it would be. So I like to use my custom settings. So as you can see, Final Cut 10 export 720p. I set that up using compressor. Next, I'm just going to call it PB&J video, and I'm going to export to my desktop. So now when I click save, it brings up my share monitor, and that's basically it. So this is about a 4.5 minute video, probably actually closer to 4, actually right here, 4 minutes and 49 seconds and 15 frames. So really that's about 4 minutes 49.5 seconds. So this will probably be done exporting in about 3 or so minutes. So I guess that's pretty much it. This video should be going up pretty shortly here. So I guess thank you for watching if you've watched this far. I'm at CPU Kid on Twitter. Go ahead and check me out there. I've also been, like I said earlier in the video, I've been on David Franco's stream a lot lately in the chat, so feel free to check him out as well. Let me know if you guys enjoy this kind of thing, you know, watching me edit, see what I do. If you guys like it, then I'm not wasting my breath doing all this stuff, then I would be glad to do more of these in the future, just, you know, to give you guys a fly on the wall perspective as to, you know, what I do when I edit, stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.